I'm happy that you were able to join this particular session where we get to learn a little bit about the decision that we have made in joining Toastmasters. And for those who are able to see my slide, it has an interesting question. So you've joined Toastmasters. Now what? What is your expectation? You came in because there are certain things you want to learn. Some of us have already written down the goals that we hope to achieve by becoming Toastmasters. Others were invited by a friend and they are still trying to figure it out. You are in the right place. The club that you have joined is within District 114, and this is Toastmasters East Africa. We have a presence in 7 countries. We have Uganda, we have Kenya, we have Tanzania, we have Ethiopia, we have Rwanda, we have Djibouti, and we have Burundi. And we are growing. And what's amazing is that once you join one club, you're welcome to visit any of the other 14,000 clubs that we have worldwide. And all you need to do is to let them know that you're a visiting Toastmaster from whichever club you're visiting from. There are those of us who've joined more than one club. I'm Maggie Jeroge, and I'm a member of 2 clubs. Nairobi Toastmasters Club, which meets over lunch hour on Mondays, the 2nd and the 4th Monday. And the other club that I belong to is the Hill Toastmasters Club, and we meet on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. For the Hill Toastmasters Club, we do hold hybrid meetings. We have people in the physical meeting space, and we have others who join us online via Zoom. And you're welcome to join. Just so that I don't forget, once you log into your profile as a Toastmaster, one of the tabs at the top right-hand corner reads Find a Club. And once you key in the location, you'll be able to see the clubs that meet around there. And you'll even have a contact telephone number and an email, and you'll be able to reach out to them. And what you'll find now that you've joined a club, your club officers or even fellow members are busy posting flyers or posters for club meetings for other clubs. And you're welcome to join those meetings as well. I'm reading a comment from Solomon who says that he's not able to hear me clearly. Are the rest of you able to hear me?
I can hear you, Maggie.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
I can also hear you.
Thank you very much for that confirmation. And you'll be introduced to an entire network of individuals that you'd not hoped or even dreamt of meeting in this life. And now, because you're able to rub shoulders with them in the Toastmasters corridors, you will be able to interact with them as we learn from one another. What can we expect this evening? I'm also serving as the Club Growth Director of District 114. And the main responsibility of the Club Growth Director is to oversee club growth within Toastmasters in East Africa and support the district to meet the district mission, which is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Here is the agenda that we have for this evening. We'll be looking at the District 114 theme. We do have a theme. We'll also be talking about the club meeting rules and some of the jargon that I'm sure you are familiarizing yourself with when it comes to club meeting rules. We'll go over the Toastmasters Pathways Education Program. And for those of you who are able to, you can follow on your own device, log on, and even select a path for those who are yet to do so. We'll talk about the Distinguished Club Program goals, the awards, the renewals, and recognition. We'll also delve into the leadership opportunities that are available. We have renewals, speech contests, and the member support and the club expectations. You expect something now that you've joined Toastmasters, but there's also an expectation. What can you do to get the most of your Toastmasters experience? We will begin with our District 114 theme and your goals as an individual. We have a very interesting theme this year, and it's all in your 100%. How does that translate to you as a member? What is the expectation? How will you know that you're fulfilling your all in? Or that it's even 100%. And we've broken it down further. And our request for one of us to kindly unmute and read the first area. There are 4 areas, and I will call upon 4 of you when I see that you've unmute your mic, and I will request you to read for us. Who wants to read the first one? Note, this is how we will show our all-in as a club member in District 114. Connie, I saw you unmute, then we'll have Nancy for the next one. Go right ahead.
As a member, I will take on a meeting role at least once per month to gain experience and contribute to the club.
Thank you. That's interesting, isn't it? That you will take up a meeting role at least once a month. And the secret is that you will be gaining experience and helping your club. The second one. Go right ahead, Nancy.
As a member, I will aim to complete at least one speech or project for my educational path every 2 months.
Is that achievable? Noting that our speeches, if you're delivering the first speech, it's a 4 to 6 minute speech. Most of the subsequent speeches are 5 to 7 minute speeches, though we do have the advanced speeches that tend to be slightly longer. But can we undertake to at least complete one speech every 2 months. That way we will not stagnate as individuals. And what happens with time, you feel the growth, you feel yourself growing. And it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. I will get my third volunteer who is ready to unmute and read for us. Go right ahead, Anne. And the third one is?
As a member, I will invite and convert at least one guest into a member in the next 12 months.
Which means now that you've discovered something that is so nice, you don't want to keep it to yourself. Can we reach out to those that are around us and take them through the process that you went through to become a member? I have seen the presence of one of the members of our newest club, that is Jubilee Toastmasters Club. Willie, is that you?
Yes, Margaret. Good evening. This is Willie.
Welcome. Willie
Very
is a
happy to
member
be
of
here.
Jubilee. The
Yes, and
newest
I'm here
club.
with so many of our members. We are happy and proud that we are chartered.
Excellent. We rejoice with you. And I'll kindly request that you read for us the fourth one.
But as a member, I will invite. Sorry, that is 3. So the fourth one is, as a member, I will set and work towards one personal development goal each term, such as improving a specific skill or completing a level in my education path.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Willie. We are here to grow as individuals. We hold certificates in our hand to show our academic accomplishments. But when it comes to soft skills, like standing in front of a crowd and speaking, we find that we are not endowed with the soft skills. By Toastmasters, we have an opportunity to work on those skills and therefore identify one area where you want to become more proficient and hone that skill during this term. For some of us, as we progress through our pathway, we'll have opportunity to perfect those skills. Others may have an issue with working with teams. As you work through the club meetings, as you work with your mentor and work on different projects, you'll find that you're gaining confidence and you're able to overcome that particular challenge. We need to set our goals. What is it you want to achieve this year? As a minimum, I set a goal that I must complete a minimum of 3 levels. And when you complete a minimum of 3 levels within a Toastmaster year, you achieve the coveted Triple Crown award. And that's the minimum bar that I have set for myself for every year, because I want to have a good return on my investment. What kind of goals have you set for yourself? And if not, you've not yet set a goal, can you take time and set a goal for yourself? And you're allowed to look over your shoulder and see what the neighbors are doing, and you can adopt the same. And because goals are not cast in stone, once you achieve a goal, you're free to move the goalpost and achieve something new. So do take time to write out your goals. How can we support you? You have your own club environment. For those who've joined a new club like Jubilee Toastmasters Club this evening, they have 2 club sponsors and 2 club mentors. And what happens each time they have a meeting, they're able to get support from this group of individuals. And even as you continue interacting with Toastmasters within East Africa and without, you can invite those individuals to come and be part of your own meeting. Is there anything specific you want us to help you with? Do you want to set your own goals and your own timeframes, or do you want us to give you a nudge? These are things that you can share with your club members, the club leadership, and for the new clubs, the sponsors and the mentors. And once again, have you set your personal pathways, educational growth goals for this year? And it's always nice to share those with the Vice President of Education, abbreviated VPE. And they hold you accountable. I like to share my goals with those that I'm mentoring. And I request them to share their goals with me. And that way we become accountability partners. We experience what we call peer-to-peer encouragement and mentorship and encouragement. You never walk it alone. There are no lone rangers in Toastmasters. We can talk about the club meeting roles. And what you'll find is that each role has a unique set of responsibility and skills for you to hone. And what's nice about Toastmasters is they've given us resources to help us through each of these roles. We even have scripts, where as we are learning, you're able to read off the script, but remember not to ignore your audience when you have your head all buried in the piece of paper that you are reading or the phone screen. Remember to look up, acknowledge the audience, and continue reading. But the club meeting roles are the Toastmaster, the grammarian, the counter, the timer, topics master, table topics speaker, the speaker for the Pathways Speech Project, the evaluator for that particular speech, and the general evaluator. And we'll look through each of them, beginning with the Toastmaster of the day. We had one of our guests during our Tuesday meeting this week at the Hill Toastmasters Club. When he stood to comment, he said, "There is so much jargon. Who is TMOD? Who is CGD? Who is the GE?" And we're all happy calling out these acronyms because we're used to them. But we need to be careful. We must explain what each acronym stands for. Otherwise, our guests will be so lost, and even the new members. Toastmaster of the day is abbreviated TMOD. It's always nice to use the name in full as often as you're able to. And this is, in fact, the master of ceremony. You're in charge of smooth running of that particular club meeting. Because it has a particular format, we recommend that you wait and observe a few meetings before you take up this particular role. But it's a very empowering role as you are overall in charge of everything that will take place in this meeting. Serving as a Toastmaster is an excellent way to practice planning, organization, time management, facilitation, motivation, and team building skills. We do have the resources A Toastmaster wears many hats. Master your meetings. And the script I talked about, the Toastmaster of the day script and log, which clearly guides you on what is expected. And the beauty of all this is you'll also have a mentor to work and walk with you as you take on this role and any of the other roles. We have the grammarian. This is a beautiful role, and it's a nice place for you to start as a new member. And the main purpose of this role is for you to track grammar usage and introduce the word of the day. And for the record, we use British English or the King's English. And the skills you learn as a grammarian include planning, evaluation, because you're listening to everybody talking and writing. Well, did we have good usage of grammar or the not so good use of grammar, and you want to point that out? You'll also be introducing the word of the day and tracking how many times we use it, both correctly and incorrectly, and give a report at the end of the meeting when called upon. You'll be learning interpersonal communication and public speaking as well. And we do have resources. This role is explained in A Toastmaster Wears Many Hats. And you're in charge of coming up with the word of the day, which we try or endeavor to align with the club meeting theme. And there is the club of the grammarian script and log. And when it's your time to be grammarian, note we need to print out the word of the day, especially if it's a physical meeting, and have it in bold so that it can be seen by the furthest person in the room. Then we have the ah counter. Note I said ah, not aha. Aha is laughter, but the ah counter is one in charge of tracking our pause fillers and crutch words. These are words like eh, or repeated phrases like so, and, really, yeah. These are words we tend to use when we are trying to get our mind to catch up with our mouth. And one of the best ways to avoid crutch words is to pause. Give yourself a few seconds to gather your thoughts together. And as you continue attending many meetings, you'll find that your mind is being able to process information faster. And that's the beauty of attending the club meetings as often as you're able to. Again, this is another wonderful role to start with. And we do have more on this particular role in A Toastmasters Wears Many Hats. There is a mobile app where you're able to track the pause fillers and the crutch words. Note it's crutch, the walking stick, not clutch, the one for the car. A crutch is a walking aid. And when you use crutch words, you're trying to support a particular sentence or statement with words that don't need it. And the best way to check if you're using a crutch word is to drop that word and see if the sentence still stands. If it does, then that was a crutch word. For example, and so I'll continue with my presentation on this new member orientation. The and so there is so redundant. I will continue with my new member orientation presentation. I have dropped the crutch words. Practice it. And don't just limit yourself to Toastmaster Club meetings, even at the workplace. Listen out to those pause fillers and crutch words. And that way you're training your mind and doing what we call active listening. And by taking up this role, in addition to active listening, you'll be able to evaluate what is being said by each person in the room and you'll be giving effective feedback when you're called upon to give your counter report. Then we have the timer. This is where we keep track of time for each and every meeting segment. Again, as a new member, you can take up this role. All you need is to ensure you have the script so that you track the correct time assigned to each speech and each meeting segment. And then for those of us who are not able to color coordinate, make sure you raise the green flag first, then the yellow, the orange, and finally the red. If you make a mistake and change the order, you really mess up the speaker. So let us be aware of that. We do have more on this role on a Toastmaster wears many hats. You may be wondering, where do we get this resource from? In the era that we are in, where we are Googling everything, just type the name on your browser and you're able to download this particular manual, which is in PDF format. We even have the timing cards that are available for download, as well as the timer script and log. And you can also download the mobile app that will enable you to keep track of time. And when you serve as the timer or the timekeeper, you're able to build skills of organization, time management, active listening, and leadership. The topics master. This is where we get to practice impromptu speaking, where you think on your feet and try and craft something that makes sense and respond to the table topic question within 1 to 2 minutes. I know as new members, some of you will struggle to get to the 1 minute mark, but that's the absolute minimum in order to qualify for the best table topic, speaker, certificate, or ribbon. Try and create as you go along. And what tends to happen is you become more confident as you get more opportunities to take up table topics. So when you're the topics master, you come up with questions that are aligned to the meeting theme and come up with easy questions, or not questions that are rocket science, but it's fun for members to try and come up with a response. We do have the resources in a Toastmaster wears many hats, the table talk, master your meetings, and we have the topics master script and log. And when you have opportunity to be the topics master and you can wait a few minutes and observe how this is done, you'll be able to hone your leadership, your planning and time management, and motivation skills. And make your questions short and sweet. But you don't have too many instances of kindly repeat, and then all the time for your questions goes in kindly repeat. So make your questions succinct so that you don't have to repeat them more than once. What happens when you are called upon by the table topics master or the topics master to respond to a question? Compose yourself. Try and get your mind thinking and begin to speak. If you're really not ready, then you can pass it on. But don't pass up too many opportunities, because then you will not learn. Don't be embarrassed if you find you didn't go up to the 1 minute mark. With time, you'll be able to get used to it. And what I like to do during the table topic segment, and you may want to borrow from this, even if I'm not the one being called upon, I try and phrase a response. What if I'd been asked that question? What would I have said? And that's what I try and work on at the back of my mind, even when the topic's speaker is responding. And this is an excellent way to organize your thoughts. Learn how to deliver concise impromptu speeches and manage your response within a specific time. And this is an excellent skill when we are networking, or for those of us who are in sales, and each and every one of us is a salesperson, and we are all finance people as we deal with both finance and sales or marketing. How do you get that conversation started? When you're good at impromptu speaking, you will not struggle. Then we have the prepared speeches from the Pathways Education Program, and we'll be looking at this in just a moment. And we recommend that you deliver your first speech within 60 days of your membership. Then set goals that will enable you to progress in your Toastmasters Pathways journey. Each of you got one path when you joined as a member of your club. And this evening we'll be able to see how do we navigate and unlock or select a path, and how will we be able to unlock it thereafter and begin delivering our speeches. We do have a very interesting resource on public speaking tips. Do take time to download that. Another interesting one is on gestures, Your Body Speaks. And you'll discover how to use your body and your voice as a powerful communication tool. And you'll find that in the process, you will hone those skills that you did not have before. And you'll become a more confident speaker. And you'll agree with me that confidence is something that none of us can have too much of. Do you agree? What about when you are the speech evaluator for that prepared speech? And you're required to talk and give feedback on the project objectives. What the speaker did well in terms of meeting those objectives. Which areas do they need to improve on? Are they able to use their body and their voice as effective communication tools? You'll find that some of us in the places we work, we are already doing analytics and evaluation, especially those in monitoring and evaluation. And you already have skills on how to evaluate and give feedback. But for some of us, we'll need to wait a little bit and observe how others are doing it. We also have very many videos on YouTube. And because Google is our friend, you can Google evaluation speeches. An evaluation is a speech. And you'll get so many evaluations, you will be spoiled for choice. And more on this role, our Toastmaster wears many hats. And there is a very effective resource called Effective Evaluation. And when you're an evaluator, you're able to exercise critical thinking. You need to listen actively. And you provide your feedback in what we call in a constructive manner. And make sure that your feedback is motivational. We are not here to bash the speaker. And we want to give feedback that even others in the room can benefit from. And see, I'll try that in my next speech. As we are all here to learn from one another. Then we have the general evaluator, also known as the master evaluator. And this is the person in charge of checking how the entire meeting was conducted. What did we do well? Which areas do we need to work on to enhance club quality? And this is another role we need to observe a few times before we take it up, so that you know which areas to comment on and how to give feedback to each and every role taker in the meeting. And we do have a checklist, the General Evaluator checklist. And therefore, when you're taking up this role, as will be the case with all the other roles, download the checklist. And that will enable you to navigate your role successfully. An excellent role for you to practice critical thinking, organization, time management, motivation, and time building, because you're not working alone, you're working with a team. Now call upon us in line with our all-in, our 100%. Can we schedule our next club meeting role with our Vice President of Education? Let them know which role you want to take up and seek mentorship for the same. It's also a good idea to sit next to a member who's been there for a while, and they can mentor you, what we call on-the-job training. And it's a wonderful experience. If you fumble the first time, no worries. Take it up again until you master the role. But do take time to learn from each and every one of these roles, as they have excellent skills for us to hone. Now on to the Toastmasters education program. And this is Pathways. Our learning starts when we select a path. And currently, there are 6 unique paths to help us achieve our goals. There are 2 ways to select a path. You may take up an assessment and find out which path or paths will be recommended. Or you can open all the 6 paths. There is a beautiful summary, and you can quickly look through it and see, I like that skill, I want to hone that. And you can zero in on the path that way. Whichever option you use, make sure you pick a path. Each path features 5 levels. And there's a resource called the Navigator. And you'll be able to go through that. The 6 parts that we have are dynamic leadership, engaging humor, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, and visionary communication. So you begin with one path, and then for every additional path, it's at $20. There are 5 core competences that we learn, and these are public speaking, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, management, and what I said earlier, we cannot get too much of, confidence. So look out for these competences as you navigate through your path. Some of them may be more pronounced than others, depending on the path that you select. Typically, a path will have the 5 levels that I talked about. And in the first level, or for this particular path, you'll be looking to learn public speaking, interpersonal communication, and management. And the additional skills, they are strategic leadership and conflict resolution. For each path, we have level 1. And I want to stop sharing the presentation here and go into my pathway, as I believe that that will be more beneficial for you, that we can navigate through the pathways system together. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Thanks, Jan. When you log in as a Toastmaster, this particular screen, okay, I was already doing something else on it. This particular screen will appear, and it's loading, there it is. And it basically welcomes you by name. And that's how you know that you have logged in. And depending on your internet speeds, the screen will load. Can you see welcome Margaret at the top? And there's a little triangle after my name, a little white inverted triangle. And once you have your cursor hovering over that, you'll see my home, my profile, and log out. Each time you find yourself lost as you're navigating, the secret is run and click on my home, and you'll find yourself back on familiar territory. You're able to access pathways from two places. We have the education program, where you can access pathways from here and go hit the access tab, or you can access pathways from here. If you access pathways from that particular tab, it will give you an overview, letting you know that we have 6 specialized learning paths and that you'll be building on more than 300 unique skill set competencies, reminding us that the content is online and you're able to set your own learning. And the skills that we are learning are real-time, real-world, transferable, and highly translatable, both at the workplace and in the communities in which we serve. You have the option to scroll all the way down and click on Go to Basecamp from here. This is one of the second way you can go to Basecamp. Remember the other one? The tab came and there was the maroon tab access. If you don't access it from there, you can come here and click on Go to Basecamp. This is one of the places you can choose a path from. What I've done is when I went to the welcome screen, I clicked on education programs, and the tab that loaded, the screen that loaded, I was able to click on pathways. And I've scrolled all the way to the bottom of the screen where I can choose a path. When you click on choose a path, again, depending on your internet speeds, it will load the next screen. And there it is. You will select the language, and I recommend we choose English, unless you want to be more adventurous. And how would you like to select your learning path? This is what I talked about earlier, viewing all the path options or taking an assessment. Let's view the paths. And you scroll down and hit continue. Note, you need to scroll down a little bit to be able to see the screen and the tab for continue. It has now loaded for us the 6 pathways. Note that at the top, you can only see 5 because my 6th path is the one that is in progress. And I'm on the presentation mastery path. Therefore, the path that you're on will not be available for you to select again. And this is for those of us who've been members and had selected the first path. You will read through each of these. There is a hyperlink. If you click on it, it will tell you more about that particular path. It will tell you what it's about. And then, do you want to view all projects in this path? And if you click on OK, it will then give you a list of each of the projects under that particular pathway. Of interest to note is that the level 1, which is on mastering fundamentals, is common for every one of us. These are compulsory projects. We have the icebreaker project, where you have the opportunity to introduce yourself to the club. Share aspects about your life, those that you're comfortable sharing, in a 4 to 6 minute speech. How do you track if the speech will reach or be within the designated speech time? On average, we speak about 100 words per minute. And therefore, if your speech is 4 to 6 minutes, take the middle time, which is 5 minutes. If we speak on average 100 words per minute, 5 times 100 is 500 words. And use that as a rule of thumb to guide you on word count. And in the era that we are in, using MS Word and all these other wonderful resources, you're able to get the word count done for you. So use that time as a guide when you're coming up with your speech word count. And this helps you keep within time. Most of us have lived for more than 20 years, those of us on the call. There is no way you will fit in everything you've done in your 20-year lifespan in a 4 to 6 minute speech. So pick the highlights. What will enable members in my club know me a little better? And those are the things that you'll capture in that particular speech. Then we have writing a speech with a purpose. This is a beautiful speech that helps us get to the point. Many other times we are called to speak and we never get to the point. By the time somebody is sitting down, they're wondering, and what exactly was Maggie talking about? Or what message was she trying to convey? But when you write a speech with a purpose, you're able to zero in to that particular message and stick to it. Then we'll go to introduction to vocal variety and body language. Remember, I talked about the powerful tools that we have, your voice and your body, as effective communication tools. Then we have the evaluation and feedback. And for the record, this particular speech project on evaluation and feedback is in 3 parts. You will deliver the first speech, receive feedback, incorporate the feedback, come back to the club on a different day, meeting date, deliver the second speech. And finally, now that you know how to receive feedback and incorporate it, you'll be called upon to be a speech evaluator for somebody. So how early can you be a speech evaluator? When by the time you're getting to the evaluation and feedback project, you will have learned the skills on how to give constructive feedback. That's on level 1, mastering the fundamentals. Then we have level 2, where you get to learn your style. And you have interesting topics like understanding your leadership style. How do you lead? Are there leadership skills you should be aware of and should be incorporating as you lead people? How about understanding your communication style? Are people left wondering what you are trying to communicate? And this happens so often, especially in the corporate world. You're there as the head of the department. You send out an email saying, this is what needs to happen. And you sit back and wait, and you're wondering, how come nobody is responding? They're still trying to understand your message. Then we have this beautiful project on introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. And this is another project that is compulsory, irrespective of the path that you choose, where you get to share your experience as a mentee or somebody's protege. How did you learn from that person? And it's preparing you to become a mentor to somebody else. Then as you progress to level 3, you're increasing in knowledge. And for this particular level, we have one main project, and then we have 13 electives, and you're only required to choose 2 from the list that's available. And the 2 are for you to fulfill the requirements of level 3. But nothing stops you from undertaking all these projects. The path is yours. Tackle as many as you wish to. Then we'll move on to level 4, building skills. We have the main project and then some electives. And from this particular level, you're only required to pick 1 in order to complete level 4. But once again, nothing stops you from undertaking the other projects. Then at level 5, we're getting ready to complete this particular path. You're demonstrating expertise in the particular path that you have selected. We have the main project, and then you'll be reflecting on your path once you complete 1 elective from the list that is here. So make sure to do the main project, complete the elective, and then reflect on your path. And this is a wonderful opportunity to walk down memory lane and review what you have learned through the process, the people you've interacted with, those who've given you the helping hand, the pat on the back, and you're able to celebrate your wins. Once you're done selecting, so this tells you what this path is about, and you can go through all the 6 parts this way if you don't want to take up the assessment test. Once you select your path, and this particular one is free, you'll now be able to click on Education Program once again to get out of this particular mode where I'm selecting a path. And as soon as it loads, I will show you where we can now access this camp, the place that I pointed out earlier. You can come here, or you scroll back to the bottom and pick it from here. Let's pick it from up here this time. Access. You'll be able to see the path that I have selected. And there is a welcome for you. Welcome to Basecamp. And you're able to see the paths and learning, your achievements, feedback, and resources. The path that I'm currently on, and these are active, are presentation mastery. Then by virtue of being a district officer, serving in District 114, I have this additional resource on club building initiative curriculum. You will not get this particular one unless you're serving as a district officer. And at the bottom, if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the parts that you have already completed. I have completed my second award for the Distinguished Toastmaster program. And here it is because I've completed my second DTM this financial year. I've completed a path, visionary communication. Another one, team collaboration. There is a special path called the Pathways Mentor Program that is only available once we complete level 2. And the beauty about the Pathways Mentor Program is that it is absolutely a free path. You don't have to pay for it. So look out for it when you complete your level 2. It will come and sit here under your parts and learning, and you can click on it. But the thing to know about this free path is if you complete your 3rd and 4th level without unlocking it, it will disappear. Message being, you're not interested. So do activate it the minute you see it under your parts and learning, and it will be sitting here. Then I've also completed the leadership development path. You're also able to see the achievements you have so far. We have the learning badges for all the projects that you have completed. They'll be sitting right here. I'm on the presentation mastery path. Currently, I have completed level 1 and level 2. I'm currently on level 3. And that's how come these badges here for the path completion level 3, 4, and 5 are grayed out. The ones in bold are the ones that I've completed. You will notice that for the paths, they have completed all the levels. Those are appearing in bold, including the certification for my Pathways Mentor path. When you complete this particular free path, you get certification as a Pathways Mentor. And it's a beautiful certification to get. Then you can get feedback badges, and we also have certificates, and you're able to expand this particular segment, and you can see the certificates for the levels you have completed. And you can download these and share them with your club and also your HR or learning and development or your talent team. And these are some of the speech titles that I had for the projects that I have completed in getting level 1 and 2. And you find all that under achievements. Feedback is an interesting place where you're able to get members from your club to give you feedback. And you can request for this, and I'll get to show you where in just a minute. Then we have the resources. And for these resources, you can get the evaluations for each and every project that's available on Pathways. And You can set the language and you can access each of the resources right here. Going back to paths and learning, you'll find the path that you selected sitting pretty right here. You'll click on it. And it's loading. There it is. Presentation mastery. And it's interesting that it shows us the percentage of progress. Currently, I'm on 43% complete, having completed level 1, level 2, and one of the projects in level 3. And under overview, we can look at the different projects that are there for level 1. Once you complete a project and you mark them as complete, you will get this small green tick. And it signifies level completion. If you click on expand or the arrow right there, it will list the projects for you, the 5 projects we talked about earlier. The icebreaker, writing a speech with a purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, evaluation and feedback, and a process to go through the level 1 completion. If I click on icebreaker, let's see what's in there. It will give you an overview of the icebreaker speech. And able to come in here, and for me, I'm having to go backwards because I completed it. It was at the end of the project, so I've quickly gone to the start of it, and it will load the screen for you, the icebreaker. It will tell you about the icebreaker speech project. As you continue reading, you will learn that you will know the basics of a public speech, which is to have a speech title, an opening, a body, and a conclusion. You'll find the resources that will help you with this particular project. We have the project checklist. If you click on the word project checklist, it will download for you this PDF. The evaluation resource, let me click on that. Again, depending on your internet speeds, it will download the same for you. This is the form that you will share with your speech evaluator. And the equivalent of this form is the one you will require from the person you're evaluating when it's your turn to evaluate. The speaker will write their name right here. The forms are editable. Write the name of your evaluator, your speech title, the date when you're delivering the speech, and to know that the speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. And we agreed we'll be taking the mid time, which in this case is 5 minutes, and working with a word count of 100 words per minute. We will try and keep our speech for the icebreaker to 500 words or thereabout. When you see 4 to 6 minutes, Toastmasters gives us a 30-second allowance on either side, which means for you to be within speaking time for a 4 to 6 minute speech, you're allowed 3 minutes, 30 seconds and 6 minutes, 30 seconds. So the safe speaking zone for an icebreaker speech is 3:30 to 6:30. The safe speaking zone for a 5 to 7 minute speech is 4:30 to 7:30. You have the 30 seconds buffer. And that's the same thing when you're evaluating a speech, which is 2 to 3 minutes. You are allowed 1:30 to 3:30. The interesting thing is for a table topic, which is 1 to 2 minutes, the one doesn't move to become 30 seconds. It stays one, as you're encouraged to speak for at least 60 seconds or a minute. But you can stretch all the way to 2:30 and you'll still be within time and qualify for a ribbon as the best table topic respondent or a certificate, depending on what your club uses to reward speakers. The purpose statement, which tells us the purpose of the project, is listed right here. You're to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech, which is having a speech title, an opening paragraph, a body, and a conclusion. And as you open your speech, have something impactful. And you have people's attention and they want to listen to you. And as you close, have a call to action or a memorable statement that people can remember long after you've taken your seat. Then we have the notes to the evaluator. And once you deliver your speech, then the evaluator will highlight what you excelled at, what you may want to work on, and what areas can you challenge yourself as a speaker. For example, I could say, who's in the room? Let me pick somebody. Francis Wahome, you're very good in storytelling. You may want to incorporate stories as you deliver future projects, as you're able to get your message to your audience in a very effective manner. So I'm challenging Francis to use storytelling. Find something that you can write in here to challenge the speaker. Then we also have this particular segment, which is page 2 on the evaluation form. And you want to comment on clarity when it comes to delivering the message. Was the spoken language clear and easily understood? Did the speaker use vocal variety, that's using tone, speed, and volume as a tool? What about eye contact? Were they talking to the sky or looking down or everywhere other than at the audience? How effectively did they apply eye contact to engage the audience? And the way to be able to achieve this is look at different members in the room as you speak. And people feel included when you do that. That's why I made the comment earlier that if you're reading the script, make sure you don't ignore the audience. How about the powerful tool called gestures? Did you use body language or were you standing like a policewoman throughout your speech? Use your body to communicate. I have 3 points I want to share with you tonight. And the first one is this. The second one, and finally the third one. I have used my hand to gesture the 3 points that I want to share with you this evening. And we came to a point where we just had to keep running. Show us the gestures for running and synchronize the words with the gestures so that you're not running after you've said the words on running. How to use gestures effectively. How about being aware of the audience? Are you demonstrating that you're aware of them and you are engaging them? Depending on the topic that you have, you could do interesting things like pose what we call a rhetoric question. This is a question that you ask and you're not waiting for the audience to respond, but you pause long enough for them to internalize the question before you move on to your next thought. Or you could pose a scenario and end with a phrase, food for thought. Or call out people in the meeting room and get their response to something depending on what your speech is about. And then we have comfort level. For the first few speeches, it's okay because we're building confidence. But this is a nice one to watch as we grow into becoming better public speakers. What are your comfort levels like? Then on interest. The speech that you've just delivered, did it have interesting and well-constructed content? Again, we'll see on a scale of 1 to 5 where you fall. And to explain these ratings further, we have page 3. It tells you what 1 to 5 stands for and what each of them mean. For example, if you're given a score of 3 for clarity when it comes to the spoken language, this score says that spoken language is clear and easily understood. I like this score because I was clear and my audience understood me. But if I get a score of 1 or 2, then I can see clearly I've got some work to do to get me onto a minimum of the 3. And that's how we interpret and use this powerful evaluation tool. Use it to encourage fellow members in the club, or if you're visiting other clubs, in those clubs. And take time to speak with your speech evaluator so that you know what you need to work on. Going back to the icebreaker speech, we have the icebreaker project. And these are the screens that we'll look at in a minute, converted to a PDF document, which is the project manual. I've created a Toastmasters folder within my documents, and I download and save each of these resources in that particular folder. And guess what? I give them names that make sense. Because if you download all the projects and save them as project checklist, you'll keep overwriting. But if I have this as Pathways Level 1 Icebreaker Project Checklist, and I can write path 1, because you've seen I'm on path 4, that will ensure that I do not overwrite my resources. And I've got a beautiful library of all these resources in my Toastmasters folder, and I'm able to refer to them as often as I wish to. We have a beautiful icebreaker speech outline worksheet, and it guides you on what to write in the opening paragraph, what to include in the body, and a conclusion. So do download these powerful resources. They are here to help you. Then we have the button for next, and I'm clicking on it now, and it will load the next screen. And it says that part 1, you'll find an introduction to the project, your assignment, and activity to assess your current skills and the project competences, and you'll select each section below for more information. Want to know something about the introduction? There it is. Something about what you want to know or wonder, and in the process learn. We have a segment on that. Then the support that we need is available. As soon as we're done reading, click next. And there it is. This is the introduction. And you get to read this. These are beautiful, beautiful materials, and they'll help you on skills that each of us require for the workplace and in the communities that we live in, and to make ourselves better individuals. Then you'll be able to assess and reflect. What is it you currently know? And you can add an item. What are you wondering about? Include the item. Once you're done, you'll scroll down and read the competencies. Remember I talked about, or we read from the Basecamp website, about the 300 unique competences. You'll be able to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those skills in the icebreaker speech alone. Are you able to recognize the elements of a basic speech structure? Did that speech have an opening, a body, and a conclusion? Did they use transition phrases from one aspect to the other? Were they able to balance preparation and spontaneity when delivering the speech? Are we able to acknowledge the value of peer feedback? And we've gone through the evaluation form. Develop the skills needed to accept feedback graciously and identify feedback to apply to subsequent speeches. Make sure you learn these competences as we progress. And because level 1 is on mastering fundamentals, if you don't get the foundation right, you find yourself in level 5 and struggling because you missed out on the fundamentals, like the basic structure of a speech. And whether you've had an instance where you're listening to somebody deliver a particular message and you're wondering, where exactly are we going? Or I thought we were talking about this. When did we now start talking about roads or whatever? Are they using transitions effectively so that you know they have completed one aspect and are now moving to another? What is the value of the icebreaker speech is what we'll learn in part 2. How do you plan your speech? And how do you look ahead in terms of working with your mentor and reaching out to your VPE to book your speaking slot? And by the way, we have videos as well within the projects, and I encourage you to listen to those as well. Now that we are having adult learning, how do we remember our icebreaker speech? Because we are not memorizing. We're doing what we call internalizing the speech. And some of the things to include in your icebreaker speech is, why did you join Toastmasters? What is it you're hoping to achieve? If you have any previous experiences with public speaking that you want to share, you're welcome to do that. Are there important moments or accomplishments in your life and your communication and leadership goals? This is one of the videos that I was talking about. I do not have the time. I will not take the time to play the video, but listen to this lady. She's got an interesting message for us. And here it is, organizing your speech into an interesting topic and make it succinct, and opening, a body, and a conclusion. And here's the speech outline that I talked about. What goes where in the speech? If you're able to fill this out as guided, you'll find that you have your icebreaker speech with all the elements that will enable you meet the speech objectives of this very important fundamental speech. Because if you miss the basic structure, you will struggle throughout. Write it out. I know most of us think, it's my life, I will remember. You'll go to the front, you'll have all those eyes looking at you, and it will evaporate. But if you can balance preparation and spontaneity by writing out your speech, you have better chances of delivering an excellent speech. Then work on how you will remember your outline and how to connect with the audience. Even for online meetings, it's important the way you sit. So we encourage people to stand and deliver the speech, and make sure that on the screen, the audience is able to see you to just below your elbow. If we can see you just below your elbows up, then you know we have a good view of the speaker. We will not miss out on your gestures, and we'll be able to receive your message clearly. So even for those clubs that will be holding online meetings, there is a protocol when it comes to delivering speeches online. Some of the techniques for practicing: rehearse with friends or family, record yourself, use a mirror, practice sections, and time yourself. Very important. You don't want to speak below or above time. And as we saw earlier, talking about the role of the timer, we want to stick to the times that have been allocated. And as you practice, you'll be looking at the timing, the pacing, the organization, the review, and what you have learned. And you get to communicate with your evaluator before your speech. So reach out to them, share with them your evaluation form, where you've already indicated your name, your speech title. And if there's anything in addition to what's on that project you want them to look out for, do mention it to them at that particular point. Again, how to relax, breathe, and enjoy. I will let you listen to that on your own, and also how to overcome anxiety. And to get the pressure off yourself. For each project, you will always have 3 speeches. The one you wrote down and really practiced, hopefully. The one that you will deliver on that day. And the 3rd speech, the one you really wanted to deliver. Therefore, set yourself free. Do not put pressure on yourself unnecessarily. Give it your best, prepare, and then you show up. Then some of the things we need to do after the speech is understanding the feedback we got. Which aspects of feedback we'll be able to work on, and what learnings are we carrying forward? This is a very important page, as it enables us to solidify and to put together everything that we have learned. Then there's this other place where you get to have feedback from multiple sources. You have the designated evaluator, but you also have the other audience. And depending on the practice in your club, both my clubs, we work with the ballot papers, and we get those from Toastmasters International. And there are sections that are perforated, and you can give feedback to the different speakers and meeting role takers, as well as vote for the better speaker, better evaluator, and better table topic respondent. So use that particular tool. It helps you give feedback and also for people to receive feedback from you. We have the verbal feedback that your speech evaluator will give you during the meeting. Then we have the written evaluation. Then we have the club practice, which is what I was talking about. How do you accept feedback? It's not always possible to incorporate all the feedback you've been given from one speech in the next one. So you'll be smart and see which areas can I work on this round. And you work on that. Then in future speeches, you're able to incorporate other areas. And as for clarification, where that may not be clear, then you'll meet with your evaluator before and also after. And also evaluate yourself. How do you feel now that you've delivered the speech? What have you learned? What have you noted to work on in future? And you're able to write your own feedback right there. This is a beautiful interactive screen. And these are the pages or the screens that are now condensed into that PDF project that we saw on that first screen when we were looking at resources. And as you complete each of these, you're able to come in here and tick them. One. So do take time to look into each of those tabs. I'm just giving you an overview so that you appreciate the richness of each project. Then under Know, Wonder, and Learned, you're able to put in the relevant details right there, and you can fill this out as well, which are your project details. And you'll save that as a log, or if you need to email it to somebody, you're able to do it from there. Then before you move on, you're able to review your learning, deliver your speech, receive your evaluation, and assess and reflect. And once you're done with all that, you're able to complete the project. And once you get this tick out here, then you'll get the other green tick where I showed you earlier. And that is how we will navigate through pathways. And I always find myself spending so much time as I go through my pathways projects. Note that each of us will get what we call the welcome email. And I'll just share the screen with my presentation. Oh, I can see that somebody wants a repeat class. Yes, I do hold this particular sessions often, and I will also share the recording. I hope that helps a little bit, Connie.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Then by now you should already have received your welcome email. If you don't already have it, go and check your spam mail in case it's hiding there. Then this is what we talked about on the screen that will load when you put in your Toastmaster credentials. The learning experience, where you are. The tick, I talked about that one, the evaluation form, the project checklist, assessing your skills, the resources that will download, and hopefully you'll also get to have a Toastmaster folder. And this is on mentoring. How do you work with a mentor? Make sure you reach out to your mentor. And if you don't have the contact, you can ask your VPE or the Vice President Education or the Vice President Membership to share the contact with you. And get guidance on the different projects that you'll be working with. And I found over time, the people that I started mentoring, we are now mentoring each other. I'm busy sharing with them my speeches and even asking them to evaluate me. And that's a classic example of what we experience in Toastmasters, the peer-to-peer mentoring. And I'll stop there on pathways and move on to the final segments that we have this evening. We have the Toastmasters Distinguished Club Program. And this is a report card. And we remember about our school days where your report card was just for you. And depending on the kind of grades you had, you either put it on the table for everybody to see or you hid it. When it comes to the Distinguished Club Program goals, abbreviated as DCP, this report card shows our performance as a club, and it's in the public domain. You're able to access it from the Toastmasters page, and I need one of you to remind me to show you where once I get to the end of this presentation. And the report card is in 4 categories: education, membership, training, and administration. And the report card resets every year. And it runs from 1st July to 30th of June, which is the Toastmaster year. And there are 10 possible DCP goals that a club can attain. If they attain 5 or 6 goals, they are a distinguished club. If they attain 7 or 8 goals, they are a select distinguished club. And if they attain 9 to 10 goals, they are a president's distinguished club. And most of us want to be president's distinguished. And therefore, we try and get a minimum of the 9 goals. The question here is, how many of these goals will each of us contribute in our respective clubs? Remember, I said I try and do 3 levels. So as a minimum, that's what I try and contribute every year, in addition to inviting guests to our club meetings. What are the education goals about? There's 6 of them, and they're all from Pathways, the program we've navigated a few minutes ago. And 4 members complete level 1. 2 members complete level 2 to get goal number 2. Then we need 2 more members completing level 2, which means in total we need 4 people completing level 2, and that gives us DCP goal number 2 and 3. Then we need 2 members to complete level 3. And then for the 5th goal, we need 1 member to complete either level 4, level 5, or get a DTM. I got my 2nd DTM this year, and this is one of the goals I've contributed to one of my clubs. And then number 6, you need 1 more member to complete a level 4, a 5, or get a DTM certification. And that is on the education goals, 6 of them. Then when it comes to membership, we need to add 4 members to get goal number 7, and another 4 members to get goal number 8, which means for us to achieve both goal number 7 and 8, we need to have added at least 8 new members to the club during the Toastmaster year. And on number 10, this is a goal that only club officers can gift the club, as it's on them attending the Toastmaster sponsored training. And we have it in 2 parts. There are 2 trainings that take place. There is the first round training, and if you have a minimum of 4 officers, though the objective is to get all 7 officers trained, that club qualifies for 9A. Then we have the 2nd round of training, and it's just ended this past February. And you get the 2nd or the half of the goal 9, which is goal 9B. When you get half 9A and half 9B, you get the full DCP goal number 9. And it's only gifted to the club by club officers. And therefore, for those officers on the call or those who are wishing in days to come to become club officers, do ensure you attend that training and gift this particular DCP goal to your club. Then we have the 10th goal, which is on administration goals. 10A is on renewals, and 10B is on submitting a club officer list, as each club holds elections every year in May. And it's usually the first meeting in May. And when you select the new officers, there's a place on Club Central for them to be registered. So they get the rights and privileges of serving as a club officer in the following year, which starts 1st of July and ends 30th of June. I talked about awards and recognitions. We like to be recognized. And some of the ways we do recognize people is we earn ribbons during meetings. There are pins that are available for each learning path. You can add a level tag to show off the progress that you're in. And you can also receive feedback badges to others in the screen where I showed you the achievements. Or you can also get certificates for level, and you can also get certificates for level completion, like the two I showed you for my level 1 and level 2 in pathways. So these are beautiful, beautiful ways to celebrate achievements. And again, you can find out how your club does this. We do have learning, leadership opportunities where we get to learn as we lead. And in terms of the structure of Toastmasters, the most important person in Toastmasters is the member. And about a minimum of 20 members come together and they form a club. At least 4 clubs form an area. And 4 areas form a division. Then the divisions all feed into the district, and we are District 114. And the districts feed into regions, and we're in Region 11, which is taking care of Africa and the Middle East. And then all these report to the board of directors. So that's the leadership structure that we have. And these leadership roles are available for us to take up, beginning at club level, where we serve as a club officer, and then you can consider the other roles as you continue in your Toastmasters journey. The leadership roles that are available is at club level. We have president, vice president education, vice president membership, vice president public relations, the secretary, the treasurer, and the sergeant at arms. At area and division level, we have the area director, and they have their teams known as area council members, and for the division director, division council members. Then you can move on and become part of what we call the cabinet. We can have the district director, and the district director is overall in charge of the district. The program quality director oversees the education program. Club growth director, the role I'm serving this year, oversees club growth and quality. Finance manager, a role that I've played previously, is also available. The PR manager, administration manager. Then we have the region advisor and the international director as part of the region and the district leadership. All these roles are up for grabs and they're for us. And what I can tell you, having started leadership at club level and now serving as the 3rd member in the trio, a lot of learning happens and you find yourself growing in leaps and bounds as you get exposed to knowledge and the different leadership opportunities that are there. And it's important that we always renew our club membership. and we need to renew to remain active members. And the renewal cycles happen in March and September. And guess what? We're in March, it's renewal time. And the period we're renewing for is the period starting 1st April 2025 all the way to 30th of September 2025. Have you renewed your membership? If you haven't yet, kindly reach out to your VPM, that's the Vice President Membership, and your Treasurer in order to remain in good standing and access pathways. Something to note is if your membership is not valid, you will not have access to Basecamp, and you will not be able to see your Pathways projects. So it's important that you renew your membership. If you've not yet renewed for the period 1st of April to 30th of September, as we are renewing. And here is my call for renewals as the Club Group Director of District 114. And I'm appealing to members that can we finish strong? We have a challenge that is ending today that we're calling the 20 by 20 by 20 challenge, where the first 20 clubs to renew at least 20 members by 20th of March receive an award from the district. And we are seeking to invite members, guests that we will convert to guests, and one of or all in is to help convert at least one member in the next 12 months. And this is my appeal to you as members on the call. Let's invite others so they too can benefit from the Toastmasters experience. We do have speech contests. And I don't know how many of you have been exposed to speech contests, depending on when you joined, or maybe you got to attend as a guest. Each club can conduct up to 4 speech contests every year. And again, true to Toastmasters, we do have a speech contest manual, and they release a manual for each year, and the one for 2024-2025 is the one that is applicable for this Toastmaster year. And the speeches that we are participating in as District 114 is the International Speech Contest, the Evaluation Contest, the Table Topics Contest, and the Online Speech Contest. And for as long as you're a member who is paid up, you are eligible to participate. And for more information on this, we can visit or download the speech contest rulebook. We'll also ask your Vice President of Education who oversees speech contests. And we are getting to the tail end of our presentation this evening, and I will need your help once again. I don't know how many of us noticed when we signed our membership application form that the Toastmasters promise was on the left-hand side and we signed on the right-hand side. How many of us noted that particular segment? If you missed it, you can go back to a copy of your form and check out the promises. But here they are. We have 10 promises. And I seek your help in reading. Patricia, have you unmuted to read for me the first one? And I can see Ruth will be number 2. This is what we are promising members of our club. So as you read each of the promises, just know what we committed to when we signed that form. Patricia, are you ready? If not, we can hear from Ruth.
To attend club meetings regularly.
Nice. Who will read for us the second one?
Me,
Go ahead.
to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program.
Thank you very much, Mariam. Who will read for us the third one?
Me,
Me,
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
Thank you very much. The fourth promise.
Me,
Yes, Solomon.
to provide fellow membership with helpful, constructive evaluation.
Excellent. Our feedback needs to be constructive. Toastmaster promise number 5. Who wants to read for us?
I'll take
Me?
it up.
Okay, let's see. We've got how many of you? Please do not mute your mics. The ones who've unmute, please do not mute them until after you've read. Okay, who wants to go first?
Esther,
Okay, Esther, go ahead.
to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow.
Thank you very much. You may mute your mic and we can hear from Sam.
Number 6 is to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so.
Thank you very much, Sam. Who will read for us 7?
me,
Okay, Esther, go ahead.
to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy.
Nice. And 8, who wants to read for us 8?
me.
Rita,
Okay, Rita, you can read this one and then Rebecca can read the next one. Go ahead.
to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers.
Lovely. Okay, who had I called out and needs to read number 9?
Rebecca,
Go ahead, Rebecca.
to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And finally, our 10th promise to our club members. Who hasn't read or spoken today?
Anne. Anne.
Okay, we have Anne and we have Jaffa, Nemo and Maria. Okay, Anne, read and then I'll find something for the others to do. Go ahead.
To act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Excellent. We have an acronym for the values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We use the word RISE, R-I-S-E. But the thing to remember is integrity comes before respect. So even though we write respect, integrity, service, and excellence, the integrity comes before. So the next time somebody asks you, what are the core values? Remind yourself RISE. Then what does RISE stand for? It's respect, integrity, service, and excellence, but integrity comes before respect. Okay, thank you so much. So these are the promises that we make to our club members. And how do we communicate with you? And I will ask Esther to read for us. How do we communicate with you?
We
Club
communicate.
meeting.
Oh, sorry.
How else? Oh, we have 2 Esthers. Okay, Esther Manzi can read the top 3, and then the other Esther can tell us about the club resources.
The first one is club meeting, email, WhatsApp.
Excellent. And then Esther, the second Esther, where are you, Esther Ndogo?
Yes. The fourth one is club resources, which come with the resources are the website, newsletter, policy, club officers, and area directors.
And area directors are our go-to people from the district. They're district officers, and they're attached to our various clubs, and they're there to guide us and lead us as we go through our Toastmasters journey. We have the Q&A segment, and I want to hear if there are any questions that we have for this particular segment. And as you're busy crafting your questions, I want to refocus us once again on the all in, our theme for this particular year. And especially for those who may have missed it, or for those where it will make more sense now. And we are undertaking, and you'll note that these elements were captured as I went through some of the slides. And I want to call upon Nemo to kindly read for me as Jaffa gets ready to read the second one. Nemo, read the first one.
As a member, I will take on a meeting role at least once per month to gain experience and contribute to the club.
This is an excellent way on how we are going to learn. Jaffa, are you ready to read for us the second one? As Maria gets ready for the third one. Jaffa, are you there? If not, we have Maria.
As a member, I will aim to complete at least one speech or project from my educational path every 2 months.
Excellent. And these are things we are undertaking to do so that we grow as Toastmasters. Judy, can you read for us the third one? Can you see the screen, Judy? Isaac, kindly read for us.
Number 3 say, as a member, I will invite and convert at least one guest into a member in the next 12 months.
And that's where we're talking about DCP goal number 7 and 8. And Ruth Ann Masharia, can you read for us the fourth one?
As a member, I will set and work towards one personal development goal each term, such as improving a specific skill or completing a level in my educational path.
Excellent. This is what we are undertaking to do as members. Are there any questions or comments? There's somebody who says they did not understand the membership renewal structure. To do is quickly put it up, and once you get the hang of it, what happens is the renewal cycles for Toastmasters are March and April. But if you're joining an existing club, you're free to do so at any time. And what happens, we will not ask you to pay the entire membership, which will include the months that have already expired, but your membership will be prorated to capture the membership period remaining to the closest renewal cycle. For example, I talked about us renewing in March for the 1st April to 30th September membership year. The other renewal cycle is in September, which covers the 1st of October to 31st of March membership year, which means when you're coming in October and April, you already have 6 months to go to the next renewal, so $60. When you come in November or in May, we've already done October and April. We'll not ask you to pay for months that have expired. You will pay $50. When you join in December or June, the months above have expired, and therefore you will not pay the $10 for those months. You will pay the $10 for the remaining months, and that will make it 40. If you join in January or July, 3 months have expired for the September renewal and 3 months have expired for the March renewal, and you'll pay 30 because only January, February, and March are left if you're coming in within this cycle, or July, August, September if you're joining in this cycle. Does that make sense? Not paying for the months that have expired. You're only paying the remaining months to the next renewal cycle. So if you find you're being asked to pay $60, just know the cycle has just started. If you're being told to pay $10, it means the cycle is ending, which means you also have to get ready to pay 60. So mentally get ready with 70. Lois, I see your hand. Go right ahead.
No, sorry. I just wanted to say that that is clear, but I raised my hand instead of that being up. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. Okay. Then Judy says, okay, sorry, we've noted. Sorry, you're not able to speak. Please provide guidance for joining as a new member. Excellent. When you join as a new member, then depending on when you join, based on the number of months left to the next renewal cycle, you will pay the one-off $20 for being a new member. And this helps Toastmasters International onboard you on their database. And then you pay the $60, which is the membership, or it will be prorated depending on when you join. The most important thing to note is we do not pay for months that have expired. And then depending on if your club has to pay for meeting room, both my clubs, we hire a hall from United Kenya Club or Nairobi Club, and we do have additional club running fees. And we also like to award each other ribbons and pins and other nice stuff, so we pay a little more. And that's what we are calling club running fees. And those are the components for the membership fee for a new member. And if you are a renewing member, you will pay the $60 plus your component of the club running fees, depending on whether or not your club hires facilities or if they do other additionals like the awards and the rewards I have mentioned. Any other question or comment?
Thank you, Margaret, for that. Maybe for the purpose of us who are new members and just newly chartered, maybe you can mention how does that payment then affect and when are we expected now to renew? Because we got the charter in March. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Willie. And that's the newest club I was talking about earlier, Jubilee Toastmasters Club in Kenya. They are chartered in the month of March. And I saw from your membership that your membership will expire on 31st of August 2025. And therefore, I know anytime from July or there, June, July, or thereabouts, you will be paying the extra $10 so that you are in good standing, because all our memberships must align to a March or a September renewal cycle. And I know we'll be talking about that a bit more for the Jubilee team. And I know we had a similar instance with Elite Orators and also Juja Toastmasters Club that chartered within a membership cycle. And you just need to top up the extra. In your case, it will be $10 to make it to 30th September, because your membership is currently expiring on 31st of August. Does that help? Any other
Thank you.
question?
Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Willie. Any other question or comment? And I'll encourage you to visit other clubs. We do have a number of clubs that meet virtually, or clubs that have a hybrid meeting, and you're able to connect with them at any time or at any place where you may be at that time when the club meeting is going on. I can see somebody saying that they joined in February as a new member. How much do I pay as a renewal? I can refer you to your club treasurer or vice president of membership, as I do not know your club running costs. Which club are you in, Fiona Wahoo? Fiona?
I'm in Alibad's.
Excellent, excellent. You can reach out to the vice president of membership or the treasurer and ask them how much you're paying for the club running component, as each club has a different amount. Even for the two clubs that I belong to, we have different fees because the charges for the club meeting rooms are different. And if you don't get the treasurer or the member VPM, you can talk to President Wanja. There's somebody asking how you will get this recording. I will share it. I think all of you got my invite. Did you get my invite on email? Is there anybody on this call who didn't get my invite on email?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yes.
did?
Yes.
Wow, you sounded many. Okay, can I request you to leave your details on the chat? And I'll be able to pull that out, because I was going to share with all the people that I sent an email to, but if there are people that did not get my email invite. Maria, which club are you with? Thanks, Esther. I've seen your email. Thank you, Elizabeth. Lois, I've seen your email. Omaido, I've seen your email. Sam, oh, lovely, 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 lovely. I'll be able to pull these. Nice. I can see you joined with, I joined the Toastmasters since February. Have I get difficulties logging into Toastmasters? Kindly assist. Did you get your login credentials, Leah? Leah John, did you get your credentials? Oh, nice. I'm seeing the emails coming in. Thank you. I'll be able to pull them from the chat and send you the details. Leah, I have noted your name and I'll be able to reach out to your president, President Atul, to check what the problem may be. Because ideally you should be able to log in without any problem as a member. Unless your email address had an error. Okay, very quickly, I wanted to show you where your report card is, and then we'll bring this meeting to a close. And I can see the emails coming in. Oh, so sorry, Philip, that you are unable to join. Oh, sorry, it's Anna Joy. Sorry, you are unable to catch the starting segment. I will share the recording with you. Kindly share your email.
Thank you, Margaret. I will share right away.
Thank you very much, and sorry about that. The Distinguished Performance Report is a tab on your profile. And once you click on it, if District 114 is not already there by default, the way mine is, because I live on the dashboard, then you will put District 114 here. And I was saying the report cards are in the public domain. You're able to see all the report cards from district number 1 to the last district, which is 130. Then we have F and the undistricted. You'll come and pick 114. And once you do that, you're able to load our district information. Something I've clicked on. Let me just go back in. There it is. And if you come to the segment written club performance, you're able to pull your report card. Let me pull the report card for one of my clubs, the Hill Toastmasters Club. And you'll be able to see that the Hill is assigned that particular number. We belong to Region 11. We're in District 114, Division B, and we're in Area 4. This information is important so that you know where you belong. Then in terms of membership, we closed the year last year with 42 members. We currently have 53 members. And we have been reminded we need to retain or maintain at least 20 members. We have so far achieved 8 goals out of a possible 10 goals. And therefore, right now, we are select distinguished. But guess what? We are going for President's distinguished. And you can see that we have 5 people who've completed level 1, even though only 4 are required. We have 2 people who've completed level 2. And another 1 person who has completed level 2. We need 1 more person to complete level 2 for us to get that tick and give us our 9th goal. And for level 3, 1 person has completed level 3. We need 1 more person and we will get the other tick to give us the 10 out of 10. Then we already achieved level 4 and the path completion and the DTM award. And I know that this is my DTM award that gave us this particular goal for that tick. And 2 other people completed level 4 and 5. Then in terms of membership, we got DCP number 7 by adding 4 members. And for goal number 8, we needed only 4 more, but we've added 21 members so far, a total of 25 new members currently. Then our club officers did attend the club officer training. We have 7 out of 7 and 7 out of 7. I am so proud of these club officers. And we did submit our renewals on time for both the renewals, the March and September. That's how come we have 2 there. If you missed one renewal on time, you will only have 1 or 0. And we did submit the club officer list on time for the officers serving this year. And we are getting ready to do elections in the first meeting in May. And we'll be able to submit that report as well. This is how you look at the report card for your club and see how you can help your club achieve goals. Any question or comment as I bring this session to a close? Hearing none. Thank you so much for your attendance this evening. I'm delighted that we have these special moments to share together as we went through the club meeting roles, we navigated pathways and looked at other aspects of your Toastmasters journey. I will share the recording with you and feel free to share it with your club members when you see it. Thank you very much and do have a wonderful evening. If anybody needs any special assistance, you can remain behind. I will be around for a few minutes. Do have yourselves a wonderful evening and enjoy your Toastmasters journey.